Hello, my name is Summer and I'm a yoga instructor here at Castle Hill 360, and I'm going to show a restorative yoga sequence. This is going to be very short and simple and sweet and a great way to rest and recover from working out or from just getting back into the fall season. It's really important for us to take the time to rest and recover. So one of the ways I like to think about these restorative sequences is it's like putting deposit into your personal energy account. So a lot of the activities we do, it's like making a withdrawal, and here we get to put a deposit back in and replenish and recharge and recover. So we're going to start with a 3-part breath, and this will be very helpful as we move through these restorative postures to keep our focus on the breath and to breathe in a way that's very relaxing and restorative. So it's important that you feel comfortable when you're sitting. Sitting on a bolster with a blanket can make it a lot easier to sit comfortably. And so the basic breath we're going to go through is the 3-part breath. So with the 3-part breath, we're simply counting to 3 as we breathe in and counting to 3 as we breathe out, with the emphasis being on a deep diaphragmatic full belly breath. So you can bring your hands to your belly and just feel that as you breathe in, your belly expands, and as you breathe out, the belly condenses, just to get to know each of the 3 parts. And then we can bring our hands to the rib cage, and you can feel around the front, the sides, the back of your rib cage, and you can imagine like you have a sash tied around the ribs. And as you breathe in, your rib cage expands in all directions. The full circumference of the rib cage expands. That's part 2 of the 3-part breath. And part 3 is bringing hands up here to the upper chest area and just feeling that as you breathe in and out, there's movement here in the upper lung area as well. The lungs can actually peek up behind the collarbones up to a couple inches or so, and then they settle back down again. So having touched on each of these 3 parts, to draw the 3 parts of the breath together, you can bring one hand down to your belly and one hand up to the upper chest. And as you breathe in, you can count to yourself 1 as the belly expands, 2 as the rib cage expands, and 3 as the chest fills. And as you breathe out, you're counting 1 as the belly empties, 2 as the rib cage empties, and 3 as the chest empties. So it looks something like this. The full, complete 3-part breath in, and 1 in the belly, 2 in the ribs, and 3 in the chest. So you don't have to do it perfectly, but it can be something to keep the mind focused on the breath and to keep the breath full and complete as we move through each of these postures. That's how we're going to be breathing. And another pointer to keep in mind as we are in the restorative postures is to find the pause at the end of the breath. So as you complete your full 3-part breath, you want to just notice a little pause, inquiring if that breath is complete. At the end of your 3-part breath, letting yourself arrive in that pause at the end of your breath, noticing that that exhalation is complete. So those are some pointers we can keep in mind as we move into our practice. And we're going to practice a legs up the chair. And the great thing about this is I like to do this at home with a couch or a bed. So with a chair, it's nice to use a blanket on top of the chair, but at home you can use, the edge of your couch or the edge of your bed if they're the right height for you. And it's super simple, especially if you're tired or at the end of the day when you need to replenish. You can bring a folded blanket in front of the blanket or in front of the chair or the bed. And then to come into this, you move over onto your side and then over onto your back. So I'm going to turn onto my side and bring the pelvis onto the folded blanket. So moving onto the side is always a way of moving with ease to keep the spine relaxed, and then rolling over onto the back and bringing the calves up onto the chair and making sure that your little folded blanket is right centered underneath the pelvis, and just arranging yourself so that you feel comfortable and letting yourself relax here. And so as you're here, you can practice that 3-part breath, and I'll just demonstrate that one time, but you can stay for 3 to 5 breaths. So 1, the belly fills, 2, the rib cage, and 3, the upper chest. And exhaling, counting to 3 as well. So taking the time to find that pause at the end of each breath and sinking in and giving yourself a good 3 to 5 nice full 3-part breaths here in this restorative position. So here we're bringing the blood flow and the circulation out of the legs and into the heart, giving the heart a break, giving the heart an easier job to move the circulation around the body and letting the body really rest and recover its energy here. And so from here, once you've rested and replenished, I like to practice a twist from here. So you can just bring your feet up onto the couch or the bed or the chair, and you can use that to help you lift up the pelvis and move the pelvis slightly to the right and set it down. And that way you can bring the feet over to the side and just relax your knees and legs over to the side and arrange and adjust your shoulders, your neck, and your head to where you feel comfortable. And then in this nice, easy twist, again, practicing your 3-part breath, and I'll demonstrate that one time, but you can stay again for 3 to 5 breaths. So hopefully you can see that big movement of that full deep breath. And so you would do that on both sides, bringing the feet back to the couch or their bed, lifting up the pelvis and moving it over to the left side a couple inches or so, and then that way you can bring your knees and legs easily over to the other side. And again, you're just adjusting and arranging your shoulders, your neck, and your head to where you just feel the most comfortable and at ease. Letting the head gently look in the opposite direction and the knees are pointing. And again, focusing on that 3-part breath, and you can observe that full deep breath. And the little pause that follows at the end of the breath, and letting yourself really drop into that pause, letting go completely. So again, you would stay for 3 to 5 long, slow, thorough 3-part breaths. And then when you're ready to come out of it, it's always good to roll all the way over onto your side and take that nice relaxation with you by transitioning with ease, letting your head stay relaxed, pushing the floor away from you, just moving very gradually and gently. And then the very last thing we're going to do is a gentle back bend over roll. So your roll could be larger or smaller. If you know you have a sensitive back, you might just use a smaller towel so the roll's not quite as big. So you're going to adjust that based on your level of comfort. All of these restorative positions shouldn't feel like a strain or like too much. They should all just feel like one smooth, evenly distributed sensation all throughout the body without any sharp sensations anywhere, and it should be easy to maintain that full deep breath. So be sure to make your roll smaller if that's what's best for you. And so we want to place the roll just underneath the heart area, just right at the level of the heart, slightly below the shoulder blades. And again, it's always nice and comfortable for the spine to enter in laying on the side and then rolling onto the back. So as you do lay on your side, you can make sure that the roll is right at the level of the heart and the shoulders are above it. And then from there, rolling onto the back and making sure you feel comfortable and at ease. And it's always the most comfortable for the spine to just keep your knees bent with your feet on the floor, so all the curves of the spine are comfortable and it's not too much. For the spine. So then from here we have a nice de-stressing passive back bend over roll, focusing on the 3-part breath. So you can stay there for 3 to 5 breaths or as long as you feel comfortable. And when you're ready to come out of it, remember to roll onto your side and then to come up with a nice relaxed, comfortable way, taking your relaxation with you, not jarring yourself out of it. And it's always good when you're done to just take a little moment to pause, to find a comfortable seated position, and to give yourself a moment to just pause and assess, coming back to your 3-part breath, taking a moment to just notice the effects of that gentle, easy, restorative practice. So thank you. I hope that helps you to restore and recover, and look forward to seeing you soon.